welcome you all in this educational video of NIOS. This is English subject for senior secondary level. Code number is 302 for this subject. We are doing lesson number 5. Name of the lesson is Fuel of the Future. We know the fuel. There are different types of fuels we use in our society. So in this lesson, we will be discussing about the fuels which we would be using in our coming future, like petrol, coal. There are different types of fuels which humans use. So let us begin the lesson. First, let us understand some difficult words from the lesson. This word is solar energy. You may have seen this solar plant. This solar plant has the plates, which you can see they are all in square or rectangle shapes. They utilize the solar energy, and then that solar energy can be used in different various forms. Hydro energy. In this, the water is stored at one place, and then it is poured from the top side to the lower side, and that creates some electrical energy. So that is used for creation of the energy. Wind energy. You all must have seen the wind plants. They are much higher in the air and they run because of wind energy. And then that wind energy is used in different types of electrical machines to run them. Biogas. We all must have seen the gas which is created out of biological wastes at some or the other places. So this is something which is created out of the waste materials. They are the bio-waste or the plant waste material. Just like petrol or CNG gas, whenever we use the CNG gas, that is pollution less. So similarly, biogas is something which is good for our environment. Ranches. Ranches is a place where we keep our domestic animals like cow, buffalo, goat for the different types of domestic work or domestic entrepreneurship, you can say. Decorating. Generator. Electricity. Mechanical power. There are different items at our home which we use in our kitchen using the electricity. Just like solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, all these energies are used in the machines. Kinetic energy. Let me explain this energy to you. It is a kind of energy which is produced because of movement. Like in the pistol, when you press the button or you press that bullet, then that bullet is hurt. It transfers the potential energy into the kinetic energy, and that movement is because of the kinetic energy. Pumping. Grinding grain. This is the old Indian traditional method of grinding the different types of grains for making the flour. Windmills. Renewable energy. There are some sources of energy which can be renewed after some time. They are not finished, but they can get renewed, like wind energy, water energy. So for all those kinds of energies, we call them renewable energy. Drawbacks. These are a kind of disadvantages. Turbines. Power plants. Energy sources. There are different sources of energy. You can see them on screen as well, like hydro energy, then there is one solar energy, then wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, and biomass energy. So these are all different energy sources. So in brief, we call them ES. Do you know of a source of energy that is clean, renewable, and totally free? Can you think of any that kind of energy? What do you think? That energy which can be renewed after a certain period of time, and that is free also and clean. Let me explain this now to you. The buzzword today is clean energy. As we know that there is pollution everywhere, and now we need a kind of clean energy which is something that we can reap from the nature. Means the cleanliness which we can receive from the nature. And the search has led man to the different kinds of energy like sun, the winds, the tides, water, and even the biogas. All these are those types of energy. They are just like solar energy. You know, in solar energy we receive the sun rays from the sun and we use that energy. That energy can be used for different items like for making the electricity and for running a hand pump. And similarly, wind energy can also be used for different types of machines. And along with these two types of energy, there is another tidal energy. We all know that in the ocean, the tides come once in a while. So tides energy is also a very good source of energy. Beside that, there is water energy. Water energy can also be used for running many electrical items. And along with all these types of energy, there is one biogas, which is created out of the human waste or animal waste or the plant wastes. So that biogas also can be used, like we all know that at home we are using LPG gas for making our food. So this is something which can be renewed and we can use it. It is clean, it can be used again and again after following a particular cycle. So all these are those items which are clean and we can get the clean energy out of something which is in our environment. And the good news about the clean energy is that we in India, we all have a reason to be proud. Just as I explained you in our previous slide, that there are different kinds of clean energy which we all use. So not only do we have the world's only ministry for renewable energy sources, but we are also the world's 5th largest producer of the wind energy. It is actually a matter of pride for all of us. We use the wind energy for running various technical items, various machines, and also similarly we use solar energy and hydro energy in different ways. So here we would be talking about the wind energy. Wind energy is derived through the process where wind is used to generate mechanical power or electricity. Wind turbines convert the kinetic energy in the wind into mechanical power, which can be used for specific tasks such as grinding grain or pumping water. As we had talked about the grinder machine in our previous old Indian method, we used to grind the grains in that Indian method which was made out of stone, and that we had to make this circular movement. So wind energy can be used for grinding the grains also. And here we will talk about the generator. You may have seen the generator somewhere or the other place. A generator converts this mechanical power into electricity. And since recorded history, wind power has been used to move various things like ships, It was also used for grinding the grains, and also it was used for pumping water. So wind energy was so useful, and even now we are using it. And there is evidence that wind energy was used to propel boats along the Nile River as early as 5000 BC. So it was the power of wind energy. Let us take a break here.
प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो। कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय के लोच से युक्त हो, कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो। मित्रों हम मुझे और जागे मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, अपना जीवन स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का शिक्षा परीक्षा का सहित बारहवीं क्यों
Now there is a question on screen. What has been the history of man's use of wind energy, and where and how is wind energy used in India? Let us understand the answer in our further slides. In the United States, millions of windmills were erected as the American West was developed during the late 19th century. And most of them were used to pump water for farms and ranches. By the 1910, wind turbines, generators, were producing electricity in various European countries. And even nowadays, in the Netherlands, one associates windmill with the Netherlands, where they are used for pumping water. And there is another place, which is Denmark. There, the wind is an effective source of energy. And if we talk about our India, then close to home, Tamil Nadu was among the first in India to give a fillip to wind energy over 10 years ago, and it continues to be a leader. In the area of wind energy. And nearly half of India's nearly 2000 megawatt of installed capacity from wind energy comes from Tamil Nadu. We all know that the electricity is measured in unit, which is megawatt. So the wind turbines have been decorating our landscape near Madurai and beyond. In Chennai, at the Center for Wind Energy, Technology, research is done to check out various wind sites where wind energy can be tapped. And wind turbines of various sizes are checked to see if they are delivering what they promised to do. And if we talk about India, wind energy is abundant in many parts of India. From Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala to the hilly regions in Maharashtra. So there are many places where you can find the abundant wind for creating so much electricity or different items. Now there is a question. Is wind energy popularly used? What are its advantages? Does it have any drawbacks? Let us understand this now further. If we talk about the West, in the West, surveys have consistently shown that the public prefers wind and other renewable sources of energy if compared with other conventional sources of generations. Like we know that wind energy is free, it is a renewable source, and no matter how much is used today, there will be still the same supply of wind energy in the future. So that is why it is the best preference. Wind energy is also a source of clean, non-polluting electricity. Unlike conventional power plants, wind plants emit no air pollutants or any greenhouse gases. So that is why we call it a safest type of energy producer. If we talk about our previous years, in the year 1990, in California, at a wind power plant, the plants offset the emission of more than 2.5 billion pounds of carbon dioxide and 15 million pounds of other pollutants that would have otherwise been produced. It would take a forest of 90 millions to 170 million trees to provide the same air quality. And some have voiced concern over the noise produced by rotor blades. Aesthetic impact and the plight of birds that fly into the rotors Most of these problems do not exist in India, as wind farms are located in remote areas, or the problems have already been resolved through technological developments. And the major challenge to use wind as a source of power is that it is intermittent and it does not always blow when electricity is needed. The fact remains that wind is the fastest growing source of electricity generation in the world. And who knows, might even be a lucrative career for many. So that can be a good source of future jobs generation. So far we have understood the lesson. We have understood about the different sources of energy and also about the wind energy. The lesson is about wind energy, which is considered very important today, and it is also referred to as a non-polluting source of energy. There are many sources of energy. Now we will begin the grammar part. Here we will be focusing on the passive voice. Let us begin this topic. I would be telling you the active and passive, both. I will tell you the sentence first. Active voice generally we use in our conversation quite many times. Whenever we talk normally to anyone. But if we talk about the passive voice, that is a kind of similar, but the grammar structure is a little different. When you will see the sentence, you will understand the difference between the active and the passive. In the active sentence and the passive sentence, the subject, verb and object placement is different. When you will see, you will easily understand. Let us begin. So you can see the first sentence, which is active sentence. It is in active voice. The statement is, the dog chased the cat. We know this is the sentence, and the cat is the object, the dog is the subject, and verb is chased. So this is the active statement. So you have understood this. Whatever the incidence is happening in the sentence. Now if we talk about the passive, just see further. See, in the passive statement, the subject and object placements are interchanged. The cat comes at the subject's place and the dog comes at the object's place. So this is just the opposite of active voice. The subject and the object gets interchanged. Also, you can see the word by, because the subject becomes the agent now. So in this we will be using by dog. So that is why we call this as passive statement. Active is the general statement which we use normally. The meaning will remain the same, and also the sign language will also remain the same, but the subject and object will get interchanged. This is something you all need to practice, how the subjects and the object gets interchanged. Let us see the more examples of the same, active and voice, active and passive voice. See the sentence in blue, that is active. The statement is the boy kicks the ball. Now see the other passive statement. You can see the statement. It is the ball is kicked by the boy. Now you yourself can see the subject and the objects are already being interchanged here. The meaning is same, but the grammar is different. You all easily can understand the same type of active and passive statements. But sometimes there are some different statements in which you have the option of not using by. So this is the example in which you see the by word has not been used. In this active statement, it is someone has cleaned the window. And in the passive statement, you can see the window have been cleaned. The male or the female, man or the woman, nothing has been mentioned. By whom the window has been cleaned. This has not been mentioned. That someone which was there in the active statement is not shown in the passive statement. And also the word by is not being used here. It is simple. The window has been cleaned. By whom? It has not been mentioned. It is not needed because. So there are many passive voices which are just similar. Let us see more examples. In the active statement, you can see his grandmother looked after him. We know that looked after means to take care. Here the grandmother is taking care of the boy. In the passive statement, if you see this statement, by, you can see the word by is used here. Now the statement would be, he was looked after by his grandmother. So it is very simple. Who was taking care of the boy? It was the grandmother. Now in this example, The active statement is Anna painted the house. It was something which was done before. Now in the passive statement, the house was painted by Anna. You can easily understand that the subject and the object has been interchanged here. You can easily understand the word by, how it is used here. In this example, the active sentence the statement is the teacher always answers the questions. The teacher always answers the students' questions. And in the passive statement, it would get reversed. The students' questions are answered by the teacher. The meaning would be same, the sign would be same, but just the grammar part would differ. You all can practice yourself by looking at more examples in the newspaper, in different books. You can read different types of English books and you can find more examples. There is another example here. In the active statement, the sentence is, I do my homework, and its passive statement is, my homework is done. It is my homework. It is done. Now this is the exercise part. This exercise questions are from the lesson which we just read, the fuel of the future, and also the active passive grammar part which we just understood. In this you have to fill in the blanks against each heading with points from the section which we just discussed. You have to write the advantages, weaknesses and the solution. So these are all the answers of the previous slide. The first point was the clean energy and no pollutants, free, and everything is clean. The answer of the second point was free. And the answer of third point was renewable. These are all the advantages. Now let us see the weaknesses. So we will understand all these weaknesses in points. The first one is noisy. It has noise pollution. So that is why it is a weakness. The second point is it is something which is not good to look at because it is dirty or it is not clean, unclean you can say. So these are all the weakness points. The third point is it kills birds because wind energy has the machine and the blades which can kill the birds. So it is a weakness. And the fourth point is the supply is intermittent because it can get obstructed because of rain or when there is no air or no wind. So it is not the 100% every time available. So these are all the weaknesses. And the third point was about the solution. So these are 2 points. The first point talks about the location in remote areas. And the second point talks about the use of modern technology. So far we have understood the lesson. We also understood the weaknesses and the advantages and the disadvantages. And also we understood how the wind energy can be used. Thank you. Thank you.